right. Well, my name is Cody Ritchie, and I play the drums for Goalkeeper.
Awesome. Well, Cody, I've had both Mark and Ryan on, so to complete the
Mhm.
trifecta of your band, now
Yes.
have you on here.
Wow.
So I've asked both Ryan and Mark, how they obviously formed the band, but
Mhm.
I don't know if obviously you guys had met, so obviously you can tell your side of the story. How did you
Yeah.
meet Mark and Ryan, and how did you come into Goalkeeper, and where we're at now, pretty much.
Sure, sure. So basically, the way I remember Goalkeeper was through the local scene. I played in a band called Hansford, and we played this show in Trenton, New Jersey. The second show I'd ever played with the band, and it was Ryan's band. He wasn't in there at the time, but he had played, well, his band had played, and I thought they were so good, like stupid good. So I had to talk to him afterwards, and I just, for some reason, felt like I had to stay connected. So me and this singer at the time, his name is Evan. He stayed connected with me, and then we just ended up playing some more shows because play 6 shows with 6 bands,
Yeah.
And then I ended up meeting Ryan at a show this place called Studio Lulu in Oakland, New Jersey.
Yep. I
And
know.
oh, do you? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Dude, that place is sick. I don't know if they still do shows, but I've always loved that place. But anyways, yeah, you know how that place is. I had seen him there, and he was the most pop punk looking dude I've ever met in my life. Yeah, yeah. He had like a beanie on, and he had a balancing composure shirt, and
Oh
like
man.
his tone was so good. I was so used to like a dad rock tone because I don't know anything, and my guitarist at the time, he didn't know anything either. If you watch, yeah. But that's how I met him, and we stayed connected. And then Mark, he had booked some shows throughout the scene. But funny enough, we ended up meeting at this show at the Trocadero in Philadelphia, where like it was a local showcase. We had to sell like 50 tickets each, and this was like a huge thing for my band at the time, as it is, because that's what you have to make it seem. You're selling them for
Yeah.
so much, and you're playing at the Troc. You're like, yeah, it's gonna be the arena. It's gonna be like the Super Bowl, dude. So, anyways, Mark's band had played that night, and I thought Mark really, really, really liked us that night because he wouldn't stop talking to me. And then I started playing the band with him, and I just realized he just doesn't shut up. But that's the best part about him, man. He can talk to anyone, and he's super vibrant, and he's brought us together, and he asked us to play the show together. I'm sure Mark and Ryan told you, but we played a cover band called The Pizzas, and
Correct,
we
yeah.
just played, yeah, a pop punk set, and with some classics, and since then, like, immediately after that, we're like, yeah, we have to keep doing this. So,
So
that's how Goalkeeper became Goalkeeper.
that's awesome. And then obviously I would assume that your band had either disbanded or something happened where,
Yep. Yep.
where things kind of like, drifted apart, not for obviously bad reasons, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then when at that point when they were like looking for a drummer, they were just like immediately like, that's Cody, or
Yeah.
were you kind of like in the process, or they were just like, nah, we just got to get Cody. That's it.
So I've asked this question plenty of times because it like never made sense to me. I was like, so why did you guys, out of all the people why'd you pick me? And like they had said it was a lot to do with that way my style was when I played live, and just like I was very interactive, and they knew that I was very much the same vibe as them. So I was the first person that came to mind.
There you
Ryan
go.
was the first person to come to mind, and so was Mark. So like I don't know, I feel like it's got something going on here. And funny
Great.
enough, like you said, my band disbanded. My band Hansford played the last show. Our last show was Peach's first show. So
Oh wow! So
yeah,
you're just a transfer of power,
it was immediate, yeah, and I felt the difference. As soon as we started playing the Goalkeeper, something felt right. Like all three of us were just always on the same page, and we always have been. And I think like that's probably the best part about what we're doing.
I could definitely tell because I've seen you guys play so many times. I actually, the most current time I saw you guys play, which I think it was in Philly, pretty recently. Well, I guess semi-recently.
Before, yeah.
Before. And I was just like, man, I'm like, obviously I'd known Mark and Ryan, and I'm just like, yeah. And I probably knew you in passing, obviously, because I'm just like, obviously
Right.
friends with Mark and Ryan. And I saw you were playing, obviously I knew you were a drummer, and I saw you were playing on stage. I'm like, this dude goes nuts on stage. Like he's got the energy. Like I mean, when I think of pop punk bands, like and drummers and stuff, like there's some really great pop punk drummers, but you have to be like, you had for some reason stuck in my head of being like, it's just the energy of your playing is just like super tight. It's like also at the same time, it's just like, I know you're having fun up there. Like it's like that's like the best part is that I know you're just
honestly,
like beating the
100%.
drums in like an insane manner, but also at the same time you're just like got the biggest grin on your face, and that's awesome.
Yep. Yeah, dude, you should have seen me play before I got in this band because it was absolutely horrible and not as tight as it is now, but like still that same energy. It's just like where it's always come from. I've always had this feeling that drums is just this escape. It's this feeling you never experience with anything else. For me, anyway, it's the funnest thing I do in the world, and naturally, it just comes up. You know, people have always been saying this to me for years, and like, dude, I've really just started to throw into it. Like, if I realize I'm feeling it on the stage, I'm just gonna throw into it. I love playing. People love seeing us happy on stage, and it's all about that, dude. You know, and it's about being a real person. I think that's why people, generate so much buzz about goalkeepers, because we just, we represent like real people. I think that's what comes across the best way, and I love talking to people about how they love seeing me smile like a fucking goon on stage, and how Mark is running around. He's got to pick up his glasses every now and then.
Oh, I know how it feels. The glasses.
Oh,
I feel
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Funny enough, I used to wear glasses, but I haven't gotten any since they were in college, and I lost them on the first day of college. I got them before college, lost them the first day. I decided to take it as a sign, but that's neither here nor there.
But that's I like I said, I wanted, when I knew I was having you on, I was like, I had to give my man Cody some props, because he's like, because obviously I love a lot of local bands, like that is my home staple. Like I love having these local bands on. So I guess as you were saying, you felt early on that you were like, maybe things weren't kind of clicking. So when did you kind of realize, like when you were behind the kit, you're like, man, something just like clicked, where I was just like, now putting in that full energy? Because I didn't even know that, because I haven't known Goalkeeper like in like past projects before that. But it's cool. I would have not known the difference. Like I would have been like, been shocked. Like I would have been like, there's no way that Cody here looks like Cody here in Goalkeeper. I would have been shocked for sure.
Well, it's funny the way things kind of working out. It's just, you throw your passion into it, and you're not sure what's going to come back. So the way that I ended up receiving it was just super positive. People had mentioned to us that it just seemed like we're having a lot of fun on stage. And then I was like, yeah, that's a straight up fact. I'm having a blast on stage, as you can see. And I feel like I want to share that with everybody. And that's the greatest part of these shows and music. And what you can do with these people is just relate in a way that's enough for everybody. And I think we do a lot, and I'm super happy that people can relate that way to us.
Definitely. Well, I have to ask the really important question, because you're on here for a reason. You have a new record coming out. I have to ask, what is your personal favorite track, whether it be like one that you're just like, I just went ham on the drums and they're awesome, or just like collectively like written, like performing, recording, all that sort of stuff. Which one's your favorite?
Cool. Well, I will have to say the new record coming out, all of it's incredible. It's my favorite. I just, you end up getting stopped by yourself a lot when you're writing, and just it feels like you prolong what you need to write because you're in your own head. And when it came to this record, we were flowing straight. I felt like everyone was on the same page. Nothing was stopped. Sitting in the studio and writing these songs, everything became our favorites. But like at the end, listening to the record, which I've done about 87 times every day.
Of course, you got it. Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think my favorite is probably this track called Black and Blue.
Oh, okay.
And it's got the same vein of Goalkeeper, but it's got a whole bunch of influences you don't see coming, and technical work. And afterwards, looking back at what I'm doing on this set is just, I'm super proud of it. I listen back and I'm like, wow, that's me?
That's me.
Someone, it's a surreal feeling. Absolutely. It's so bizarre to listen to a song like that, in my opinion, and realize like I was in that studio. I created this. We were part of that environment. We're part of this product. So I think Black and Blue, and then maybe as a sidebar would be the song, the last track on the album, This Is Fine. This Is Fine, I think that song is going to be a crowd pleaser, a crowd favorite. It's going to be the deep cut. It hits the hardest, and Goalkeeper's never hit this way before. So that's the coolest part. So that's super exciting. And when we were writing, we weren't sure if it was going to make the record. And then when we got into the studio, it ended up turning around, and it becomes one of the most explosive tracks. It's there's a lot of stuff there. I don't know if Mark or Ryan have leaked it to you, because Mark loves to show everybody before.
Well, he has sent it over, and I've listened once through it already.
Good.
And I was like really impressed, because I remember him sending me the EP, and I was just like, this is really good. And like obviously I talked about it as much as I could to like anybody that I was like that I knew. And with this record this time, I was just like, It felt so different. Like, it was something
Yeah.
about it that obviously still rings true to, like, I don't want to like feel like it's like
Hmm.
they went on a completely different direction, because
Yeah.
they definitely have that like quintessential like Goalkeeper sound, but there's something
Hmm.
about it that I feel like a lot of people are going to be excited about, because it is,
Yeah.
as you were saying, Cody, it's different. Like, it's not something
Yeah.
that I was like personally expecting, because like, again,
Hmm.
I haven't been with the band for like an extremely long amount of time, but
Hmm.
I was like, there's something like, there's just something about it
Yeah.
that's like clicking a little bit more than maybe the EP, and I thought the EP was really good, so
Thank you.
just to have it click a little bit more immediately was really
Yeah.
cool. And like I said, I have to agree, Black and Blue
Ah.
is a good one. So I have to go back
Yeah.
and re-listen to it. It might change, but I would also have to kind of piggyback on that one. But you did mention that there's a bunch of like, different styles and takes on this record.
Hmm.
So I
Absolutely.
guess, like, who are some of the artists or like people that you were listening to at the time that kind of
Ooh.
influenced your drumming style on this record? Because obviously you're taking a different approach. So were there any
Yeah.
specific like artists or things going on in your life that you're like, I need to
Mhm.
incorporate this into my playing?
So when I think about writing with drumming, I think it's different than writing any instrument. Everyone has their own particular taste when it comes to writing, but for my own, I think about how it's got to be appropriate for the track and what you're trying to build around. So I start with that, and I think about what I'm listening to recently. I listen to a lot of pop music. I listen to a lot of like R&B, a lot of hip hop, and I try and keep track on this pop take, because there's that pop to the punk,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
of
So
course.
so there's that ebb and flow. Evan from State Champs is super good at it. He's a phenomenal drummer. Knuckle Puck has always been a super big influence for me, and also the one dude, Mark Kennedy, is just out of this fucking world. So it's a lot of trying to find that balance between keeping that pop balance where the drums aren't taking over and they're not too big, and you have your own splashes of surprise in there, and then also having your style, your punk,
Yeah.
So I have played through Suburbia a million times. Fireworks Gospel I played through a million times on my own, and that's what the kind of shit I grew up on. So throwing that kind of stuff into this pop direction towards the songs really builds not only the song into the proper sections it has to, but it gives it form, and it gives it this mentality that like things are appropriate. So a lot of the drummers are influenced by like Mike Kennedy, like I said, and then Evan from State Champs, and then just a lot of pop direction. So imagine just a lot of like straight 4/4, but there's the little clicks you got to listen for, ghost notes. It's
Yeah.
just also Neck Deep. Yeah, Danny from Neck Deep is a fucking awesome drummer, dude. He does it right. He's
Yeah.
he's a team example. So yeah, imagine it's the basics, and Travis Barker's always thrown there.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
can't
Got
be
it.
you can't be
Yeah.
a pop punk drummer without Travis Barker being in there. But yeah, I would say there's a main, and it's not like that switched. I've always been influenced by those guys, and I think always will continue to be. But you'll hear on the record.
Yeah, no, I was curious to ask about this, because like I said, I listened through to most of the record, if not the entire
Mhm.
thing,
Yeah.
and I did see kind of like the change of drummings throughout the song and stuff like that. So I
Mhm.
have another kind of follow-up question to that. Like, when you guys were in
Please.
the studio and you were working on the record and stuff,
Mhm.
are you guys all collectively like collaborating, like you're pre-proing it out, all that sort of stuff? Like, are you guys like sitting in a room, you're like, okay, I'm gonna, like, Cody's like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and then Ryan's like, okay, I'm gonna do this and stuff like this, and we're gonna like
Yeah.
riff it out? Or do you guys have more of a like structure where you're like, okay, like Ryan's gonna do like all of the bass parts right now, and then Mark's gonna do all the guitar parts, and then Cody's gonna come in and be like, I'm just gonna
Mhm.
put my flavor in there? Or is it just more of a like, or is it just kind of like a hodgepodge where everybody's just like, this is my idea, this is my idea, like, how are we gonna try, we have a bunch of
Mhm.
ideas, how are we gonna all like put them all together and like
Right.
make a Goalkeeper song?
Yeah. So basically, the way a Goalkeeper song finds itself, I think, in my way, is Brian and I always start with some lyrics, and then we grow from there. So Ryan and I are the main writers. We'll take some things and we'll put them together, and then we'll show it to Mark, send in the group chat, go back and forth, take it to the practice space and jam. So once we have a song or a demo down like 80%, we'll end up videoing it and sending it over to Kevin Mahoney, who is a producer, and also Will Pugh, who helped on the record. And we just basically took down their notes, and they said, you can do X, Y, and Z to make it better. And then we took X, Y, and Z into account, and then we brought the songs down to the studio. So once we got into the studio, we had maybe somewhere in between like 10 to 15 ideas, right, for a 5-song EP.
Yeah.
So, you pick the 5 best songs, that's a super hard part. I can talk about that for a little bit, but like by the end, you end up picking 5 songs. So we picked the 5 that we thought would be the best for the record, and then we immediately started jumping on it. So the way this works is like they'll be in their separate room playing guitar, singing straight, and bass, and then I'll be in the bigger room on the side for the drums, playing along with it with headphones. So we'd set up a metronome, we play through it, and then we take like a 1-take demo, and then listen to them overnight, say this is what we want, yada yada, the next day. And essentially that's how it works. We break it down very, very purposefully. Everything's got a purpose, so we're not looking at like things as a whole. We're looking at each bit. Every drum fill has got to have the right transition. Every guitar lead can't be overdone. Every bass has to be driving. It's got to be the right tone. You have to spend the right amount of time. So everything was just super, super in depth, and I can't stress how awesome the team was. The team was super, super confident about what we wanted, knowledgeable in everything we needed to get the right sounds, creative, pushing. Everything was there. Kevin helped us on the last record, and this time he had so much more to say because we just gotten used to each other. We worked with Kevin before. Will was super awesome. Like I said, he was super knowledgeable on his engineering, and even offered him some ideas. And in the end, I think they pushed us to make the best record possible. And then to have Seb on the other end, which is another part of the conversation, but he did a phenomenal job mixing, mastering the EP, and just like to sit back and actually look at the names on this team, and then to see my name attached with Ryan and Mark. It's like, are you guys sure you're talking to the right people? Like, how did we get here? Like,
it's surreal. Yeah, it's surreal.
Yeah. Surreal is definitely the right way to put it.
I kind of feel the same way because, like I said, when Mark had sent me over the EPK, I was like reading and stuff because I try to do, audio addiction, try to do my homework a little bit. But I felt like this time around, like obviously you had mentioned Kevin had worked with you on the last EP, and I thought, like I said, I still think that EP is really great. But there's something about this one that I think he like pushed you guys a little bit more. You guys felt a little bit more comfortable doing different stuff, and I think that obviously makes itself known throughout this EP. Like it doesn't feel like it's still feels very Goalkeeper centric, but it's just something. It's nice that it's different. Like it doesn't. It's not like I'm listening to it and I'm not like, man, they tried going for the same thing. It's like they tried to like take the bar a little bit higher and try to do something different. So like obviously you kind of talked about having Kevin on again, but like do you really feel like he made that much of a difference in the final product of being like like things that like, what was maybe like one example of like a song that you were like, you guys are kind of like, not, I wouldn't say fighting back and forth a song that you were like, like it just needs that little extra, and then just Kevin had something he was like, this is what's gonna put it over the edge.
Yeah, so actually this is a perfect example for it is Happy. I'd say probably around September, October, maybe sometime last fall. We were sending demos back and forth to Kevin, and he had sent us something. He had sent us a demo he had from super long time ago. It was for Hit the Lights. It was supposed to be after Summer Bones, but they ended up never using it. And then he was like, so we just haven't used this. I recorded it. I really like it. If you guys like it, we can fuck with it. So I heard it the first take. I was just like, fuck yeah, let's jump on this immediately. And then and that was the instrumentals to Happy. So I would listen to that at work. I would listen to it on the car rides that I had up and back on 295, anytime that I could, and just sat there until I found that melody. And so I ended up writing the verse for it. Ryan wrote the chorus, and the rest is history. So that's a pure example of how Kevin has affected this record. Not only to say has he like given us that song and some songwriting knowledge that we didn't have previously, but he's been a super awesome friend and mentor. He truly wants to see the best in us. And I think something that really works well with this record and this team is that Kevin, Will, and the rest of Goalkeeper, we really feel like we have something to prove. Kevin really wants to produce music, and he's trying to put his heart into it, and he's doing an awesome job. Like, he fucks with us heavy, and he's improved us, and I can't stress how awesome he is to everybody we meet. And Will, he's doing a phenomenal job with engineering and producing records. I think he did some work with Newfound Glory too, and it's just like he wants to work with anyone who wants to come his way. So
Yeah.
he's looking for this project, and it feels like everyone on this team has something to prove, which is the best driving force.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We went out to Nashville, on a fucking whim, and to go out there was recommended by Kevin, and we all obviously loved the idea, but to go out there, just to look back, it's scary. It's a lot of risk.
Sure, yeah.
It's a huge thing to go out there, and we spent about 2 weeks in the studio working every day. Came home every night. Didn't spend much time doing any tourism or spending money. Just like we put it all toward the dream. We knew where everyone stood on it. We put our fucking nose to the grindstone, man. It's just like that's what happens. You end up with something that's real, authentic, not hackneyed, not overdone, something you haven't heard before, but like still something sounds like, hey, this is familiar to me, and I want it, and I relate. It's a super special project, man, and like I could talk myself in circles about how much I truly do love the team behind this.
I'm really ecstatic for other people to check it out when it comes out, because I always feel a slight bit guilty talking about it, because like I'm like I'm at the front row getting it a little early, and that's the procs of running a YouTube channel, but it's also at the same point like I also feel slightly guilty because I'm like these are some great stuff, so by the time this comes out it'll be much closer,
a little closer.
But obviously we had talked about you had come in the studio with like a lot of ideas, so is there, I always ask this because I'm always curious, is there any chance that we'll see this on a B-side or like a demos reel or something like that? Because I don't know, I like that. I'm like the super nerd that searches out like the real very obscure stuff. They're like, oh, this is what the song sounded like originally, and then we redid it, now this is what it sounds like on the record or whatever.
Yeah, I don't doubt it, man. We keep at least I do. I keep all the things that end up coming my way. So like, I could imagine seeing something come down, when it comes to a later B-side kind of things. But there are also songs that we demoed out that didn't end up making it. So I mean, like, imagine if Bandcamp needs some sort of fundraiser thing. Hey, we have this B-side we never release. And side note, they still slap, but just didn't slap as hard as as the other one. So maybe they might make it to a record in the future, fingers crossed, or something like that. But yeah, there's definitely some demos out there that I hope we can leak one day onto Reddit. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know how Mark or Ryan will feel about that. I'll have to imagine them coming to this point in the interview, and then you guys can let me know if you agree with Cody or not.
Yeah, this is going to be a conversation in the group chat. Like, Cody, why did you say we could leak this?
Don't be too hard on him. I asked the question. I had Cody's back. I said it. It was my fault. Shouldn't have poked the bear. I poked the bear a little bit. So, but that's really cool. Like I said, I hope that they happen. Or were there any songs from like the previous record you guys did that were maybe like reworked for this record, or you haven't maybe, or do you?
Ended up just being just a big writing session for us. Once we got done writing Bad Times Don't Last, we'd sat for a few months on the EP, and just did some touring and some music videos and that kind of stuff, and everything just seemed new. Actually before we went down, I feel like everything was written like 4 months before the record. I feel like we were kind of we're like, hey guys, we're like supposed to write this thing, right? And they were like, yeah, we got some stuff written. I was like, yeah, we have to like jumpstart this, now.
We have to get on it like now, yeah.
Yeah, I tell you what, there was a moment, and it was actually when we wrote Black and Blue. This is such a funny story. I remember Ryan and I were talking because, like I told you, him and I are the songwriters, and I called him. And we were talking, like, yeah, I'll come down, this day this week, and we'll work out some stuff. He was like, yeah, I got some demos I'd love to show you. And I was like, yeah, I got some stuff I'd love to show you too. So I get down there, and that morning, I was like, yo, dude, so what you got? He looked at me. He looked at me, he was like, yeah, so like I had nothing written, but I wrote this morning, right? And I think it's kind of cool. And it ended up being the first 2 lines to Black and Blue. And in the time I was like, well, that's fucking great, dude. Thank you so much for your support. And we ended up actually combining something I had written and that, and we worked on it that morning, and it came out not exactly how it is now, but it was such a superior demo to anything that we had. Like, it really kickstarted it. Once you find that flame, and you're like, yeah, this is what we're doing. This is how we need to do this. The next few practices came easy. He came out, he came out to our place. We all had the practice space, knocked out the next few songs, and it's like when you have to put the pressure on, sometimes the best stuff comes.
Yeah, sometimes pressure builds the diamonds or something like
That's
that.
what I've heard.
I don't know
I'm not
the
a
saying.
scientist.
Yeah,
I'm not
I'm
a
not.
chemist.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'm just a YouTuber. I just do this thing.
Dude.
But the next question, Cody, I have to ask this. What are some of the bands you're currently listening to now? What have you jamming recently?
Ooh, this is good. So obviously the new Neck Deep record.
Yeah.
That thing is a banger from Sonderland to Pushing Daisies. Yeah, dude, that's a record right there. I love everything they've done in it. The development in it is so good. The production is great. Mixing mastering is awesome. Just what a knockout record. Taylor Swift obviously put out a new record.
Okay.
Yes, Folklore is very, very good. I do enjoy a lot of tracks off of that. I've listened to it quite a few times. Broadside's good. I know I'm also mentioning the songs that also got released on the same day as us, but like all that stuff is very current. Broadside, just that record, Into the Raging Sea, is phenomenal. Masterpiece from the beginning to the end. I love how they started ahead with that first song. Like, it's insane. So that record's really, really good. Besides that, what else have we been listening to? Knuckle Puck is the last few tracks they've put out. Really, really good. I think they're very, very pop punk, if you ask me. Yeah. No, I think they're doing an awesome job of what they have coming out. I can't wait to listen to 2020. That's gonna be really, really good. Besides that, that's kind of been in my rotation. You always have your favorites that you go back to.
Yeah.
No, that's about it. What about you? I feel like I haven't asked you anything.
I feel like, well, I appreciate it. To answer this question more specifically, ironically enough, I was also listening to Knuckle Puck, but I was listening to Shapeshifter because I felt like I didn't give that record enough love when it originally came out. I remember doing a review of it, and I was just like, I don't know, it just didn't hit me the right way. And I went back and re-listened to it. And I'm like, man, this is a masterpiece. Like, this is really good.
Dude.
It's like under the radar. Like, I love Copacetic. That was still gonna be like a top tier. Top tier. Knuckle Puck material, but I do feel like Shapeshifter gets like a lot of shit, and I don't know why. Like, it is fantastic writing. They go a little bit more grittier with some songs. Like, there's a little bit more screaming. They go softer. They go a little bit more melodic. I don't know. It's beautiful. I really enjoyed it a lot.
There's a lot to take in with Shapeshifter. I think you and I probably felt a similar way when it first came out. I love the singles. Double Helix is super great. What's the other one? Call and say what's good.
Yeah, that don't want me around.
Yeah, dude, that's still on some playlists that I'm listening to. Shapeshifter was a particular record when it came out. I remember Copacetic was that was the top of my list. I think it came out in 2015, if I'm not mistaken.
It was a little bit ago.
2015, and that record just went straight to the top. Yeah. I love that. To no end. The drum work in that record, that's just something that I wish that I had to sit there and listen to it 40 times before I figured out what he was doing. It's just awesome record there. And then to follow up with Shapeshifter, it's awesome. It's a different record, which is great. Because, if you would have put out the same record twice, that's a huge problem for some people. So I think they definitely took some leap and bounds. I think there's a lot more pop elements in the songs, too. They have a lot more hooks, which is good.
The hooks on that record was just awesome. I was listening to it today on the way back home to my house, and I was just like, I'm like, I don't know why I hated this record as much as, I guess hated is a strong word. I don't know why I didn't like it as much as I liked it originally, because it is just fantastic. But I don't know. I've been on a pop punk kick lately. Shout outs to my boys in Flight Club from Virginia. They're the homies. Love those guys. They're great. Their last record, I think it's Recreational Love, I'm pretty sure. Just fantastic. And then they're probably one of my favorite pop punk bands, like Pacific. I love all of their.
They just put out a new track. What's the new track called? I forget it.
Oh man, I know it too. You're putting me on the spot. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
No, never mind. Yeah.
But that's fantastic too. I listened to that recently, and I was just like, I don't know. They're that pop punk band that can never do anything wrong. I might be in the minority of that. But I definitely feel like they're that one band that is just like, whatever they do is just great.
It's funny you mentioned that. I didn't think about this until you did. All Time Low with their new record, Wake Up Sunshine. I've listened to that many, many times. That's a straight up killer record. everything on there from the beginning to the end is good. Hooks for days, great tone, great drums, great work. Alex Gaskarth, God, like, I mean, I don't have to go on about it, dude. I could talk forever. That's a great record there.
Yeah, that one. And speaking about kind of in the more pop sphere too, the band Camino, I recently found out about them, and I've just been on.
Yes,
I've been on
recently.
The band Camino.
Oh,
yeah.
Welcome to the community.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great,
I gotta give a shout out to my boy Nathan. He made a post about it like on his Instagram story, and he's like, and then he shot me a DM. He's like, bro, check this band out. I know it's like more pop, and I know you're not like super into pop, but he's like, you're gonna like them because they're a little bit more like, they got a little bit more of a rock edge, but they still got that pop vibe. So I was like, I'm the type of person, I'll listen to anything. Give me a recommendation, I'll check it out. And God, I was try hard. I was chef's kiss, baby. That is such a that EP is fantastic.
Dude, such a phenomenal record. Great band. Summer. I know. Yeah, isn't that crazy? Yeah, that's the first time I heard of them. The Dangerous Summer and the band Camino. I checked them out because obviously the Dangerous Summer is a fucking kick-ass band, so you have to check out the openers.
They're great too.
Heard them, and that was ever since then, me hooked. Phenomenal band. I saw them live when they came through to Philly at the TLA for Try Hard. That was an awesome show.
I'm gonna have to see them. That's one band that I feel like once quarantine is over and the tours begin up again, I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to save a little extra dough for some some band Camino action.
Yes, you definitely should. Highly recommended.
But my next question, Cody, is another important one. I think I asked Mark this one, so I'm curious how you're going to answer it. But if you were to create a musical supergroup, who would be in your band?
Oh, man. Am I in the band? Can I be in the band?
Yes, you can be in the band. It's basically you're replacing everybody except yourself. Like you're in the band, like you're the drummer of the band, and you're picking everybody else to like you can have like 3 vocalists and like 1 guitar player or whatever you want. The world is your oyster.
Okay, all right. So, thank you. That sounds great to me. I would pick. This is not gonna make any sense. I'd pick Danny Campbell from the Wonder Years as a singer. He is 100% my favorite frontman of all time. He's phenomenal. The Wonder Years inspired me in ways that I cannot even begin to tell you. God, man, if he was still around, Tim Landers on guitar, because his work is just so influential and so great and different. And dude, I'll go on, but we had to get moving. Him on guitar, Mike Dirnt on bass, because Mike Dirnt from Green Day is the fucking best bassist in the planet. Now I see your face. I see what's going on here.
No.
I
got you. No, I'm feeling it. I'm soaking it in.
Yeah.
This isn't a face of not understanding. I'm just like, I love this question because I get to soak in all this answer. Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense, but that's probably me. That would have to be my supergroup, and I would love to hear for a single. I would listen to it.
Okay.
How do you know what we call ourselves?
Well, you don't even know. You want to try to take a word from each band? You'd be like, oh boy, let me think. How would this work? Oof.
I don't even know. Wonder Day, Keeper. Oh God, who did I say for guitar? I don't even remember. Picked off the top of my head.
Wonder. Yeah, I'm trying to think of this now because you have a. You have a bass player, you have a guitar player.
Tim Landers.
Tim Landers. So you would have Transit or Miser.
Yeah, that was it.
I'm trying to think. So you'd have
both.
Okay. Okay. So we have to try to incorporate the name. So it'd be like, I don't know. Let me think. How am I gonna do this? It would be. Oh wow, this is very hard. This is a very hard band name to work with. I think we're gonna have to drop. So I think if you guys were called. Oof.
You might have to.
The Green Transit. That's what I was going to call you.
Transit, Keeper. The Green Transit. I'll take it. Transit Keepers.
The Green Transit Keeper.
Goal Day.
That's it.
Whatever you want to call it, just don't call Slave for dinner. Yeah, we'll take it.
Well,
I'll take it.
Cody came up with that on the spot. I am all about this. If you guys would like to purchase their first single, it will be available in 2023. Just because we want to give them a little extra time. The collective natures of all the bands coming together, would be very interesting. But
Cannot rush perfection. Absolutely
I
not.
like that group. I like that group a lot. I know I was giving you the think face, but
Thank you.
I'm sold on it.
Uh-huh.
I think it's good.
Hey, when you sold, stop selling. That's what I've been told.
Next question, Cody. Another fun one that I asked Mark as well. If there was one album you wished that you wrote, what album would it be?
Man, I've thought about this a lot. I have an answer for you.
Oof. Okay, hit me
It's
with
gonna
it.
be American Idiot by Green Day.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I know. I know. It's a stellar record, man. It's a stellar record. There are a lot of things you could put out there, and there's a lot of influences you could be, but I think that record has just nailed a coffin in so many people for their influences and what they would do and how they've been inspired, and not even just to speak about like what it did on a scene level, but like on a political level, on a bigger level. People were talking about Green Day because they were, talking against the country, and
Yeah.
they literally made a statement like you can't be bigger than talking, about your country. You know what I mean? So like I think they went above and beyond with what they did with that record, and to see what it's going to be in 50 years, to see what it is even now, to see what it was when it first came out, like revolutionary. I would be there on that one.
I
American
would.
Idiot.
It's a chef's kiss. I would totally agree with that. Like, we're probably in the same age group. Being I am 27, so I feel like I'm, getting up there in age. But yeah,
No.
that is one record that I feel personally that I've been like. It doesn't matter like how old I get. I go back to that one. I'll go back to like nostalgia records. And I don't know, American Idiot always just got the gold. Like it's just something about that record that I come back and it's just like, that's like I didn't even stop listening to it back when I was like, a young
Yeah.
teen.
No, absolutely not. No, it'll always hit. There's a narrative and there's a direction, and I feel like the meaning behind it is always going to change. This is awesome. That's exactly what music should do. It should always hit you different.
Oh, 100%. Next question, Cody. You've been doing these drum playthroughs, or you did one of Happy. Are we going to be seeing more drum
Uh-huh.
playthroughs? Because I feel like I got to ask.
I
I personally love seeing them because, like I mentioned at the beginning of this interview, and if you've been watching it for this long, bless your soul. But I love Cody's energy behind the drum, and I went and today, like before on my lunch break, I was just trying to again do my homework. So I was watching the drum playthrough of Happy. I'm just like, my God, this man just goes hard, and he doesn't have to, but I appreciate it. Like I gotta give you the cooties, the kudos.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
do you have more in the works? Can we
I
expect can we expect the maestro
I
behind the kid again?
Yes, without a doubt, absolutely. I love doing those things, and the thing that's been keeping me from not doing them was like having the equipment, because everyone's got miking these days, and they all understand what SM58s are and microphones and this dude has, and I understand about that much. So I have a DSLR that I literally just set up, and I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna do this, I might as well try it out. So I literally just threw it to the wall. I did it, played it the way that I usually played it, and they said, hey, this worked out pretty well. and then showed the band. They liked it. We posted it. Fans ended up liking it, and I'm super glad people, I ended up enjoying my energy. And I'd love to do more. Absolutely, yeah, definitely. Some more for the new singles coming out when they come out, and I think there's definitely some stuff coming. So yes, you can expect more maestro behind drum set.
There we go. Cody behind the drum set, he's
Yeah.
a maestro at work out there, so gotta give him the props. But as you mentioned earlier, like the fans really enjoyed the drum playthroughs, but I feel like I gotta ask, how's the reception of Happy been? Have people been enjoying it? What's kind of the feedback that you guys have been getting? Because like I said, I like it a lot. I'm excited for other people to check out the entire record when it comes out. But how have people been receiving Happy so far?
It's been great. I mean, there's just not been a moment since we released it where someone hasn't been telling us how much they like it, and I can't begin to express how much gratitude we have for the release of this. Just there's so much hype behind it since we've been growing since Bad Times Don't Last, and to finally put out new music since 2018. At the end of it,
Yeah.
still regardless, it feels like forever ago. So to finally have it out is just, it's insane and it's awesome. And people have been sending messages, personal messages, people I haven't heard from in a long time, saying how much we've grown. And it's nice to see these people that we've grown in the scene, and they're like, yeah, you guys are putting out some good music. And then there's this whole other side where it's these whole other people I've never heard of, met before in my life, who are saying, yeah, happy to fucking jam. You guys are putting out good shit, and I love what you're doing. And it's like, I can't believe there's that we've created this kind of buzz, that we've created this much love and support and maybe a community behind what we're doing. And like, that's been the goal from the beginning. We've always wanted to create something positive. We always wanted to give back and do something. And I especially think with a song like Happy, you're putting that good vibe out into the area, which people need now more than ever, you know? So the fact that people have been loving and giving support and just listening over and over again has been more than we ever could imagine. You know, we're enthralled. The release has been great. I can't wait to share more. It's only going to keep building, and can't wait to see where it goes. 2020 went the way we had planned it. It's going to be real, real big. Not to say things haven't been big. Not to say things haven't been, you know, absolutely incredible the way it's gone so far. And we'll wait. And we'll be patient because it's going to come. But, you know, just we had a lot in the works. But you guys and the fans and anybody who's even given us a chance has made it completely worth it. Like, this still feels like we're on top of the world. COVID hasn't happened. You know, we're still connecting. And just, it's awesome, man. It's awesome.
There we go. Well, that's great to hear. Like I said, I'm excited to, again, have it come out to everybody for them to check out as well. Seriously, Spin Happy. I know the guys would greatly appreciate it. I know I've been doing my best to plug it, so I'm going to go give it a share on the Instagram story again and on Facebook and all that stuff because, you know, Goalkeeper's family. Gotta give him a shout. But I have one last, actually I have two last fun questions. One, in relation to the lyric video you guys did with To All the Crowded Rooms. How was that experience? I love those guys. Shout outs to All the Crowded Rooms. You'll be seeing a video with them coming up later this week. But how was that experience of doing that sort of stuff? They always got some interesting content on their channel for sure. So how was that the experience? You did it with Ryan. Shout outs to Ryan as well. So how was that experience? That must have been very fun.
It was, from what I remember. So behind the scenes, we had set up. The first thing we did in the beginning was this thing called 3 times the charm or something along those lines, where like we did shots. Oh,
so you were feeling it?
So no, my good friend, I was far beyond feeling it. I was it. There was nothing else besides me in that moment, and just that's how we started out. It was like noon. I had only had like a bacon, egg, and cheese from Wawa earlier that day. So I'm looking back at I'm looking back at this lyric breakdown, right? I'm thinking to myself, like, my only thought process when I was trying to explain these lyrics is like, oh my God, these lyrics are like so non-metaphorical. I don't know what else they mean besides what the fuck I'm actually saying in the song. So you'll hear me say like this weird preface to the entire statement like a million times, like, so like actually what this song is like, what I'm actually getting about in this song about the song, it's so when you actually think about the song and happy, you're just trying to be happy, and it's like, what are you doing, dude? So to answer your question, I had a phenomenal time.
Yeah,
do I remember 100% of it? No, but you know, those guys are awesome, and it was fun talking with them, and Ryan definitely held most of the ground on that one. I was a piece of toast. I was wet, soggy. It was fun.
I did feel a certain way. I was like, man, my man Cody is just toasty. He's roasty toasty out there, and I was 100% not drunk. Me was playing me like in a movie, like, or like a drunk history kind of thing that had happened. That's what had happened.
Yep. Yep.
You have been, you know, pulled out of your slot, and then drunk Cody was then inserted in, and then you
Yep.
were telling the story of the lyrics that you wrote with
Yes.
Ryan. So
Yes. Absolutely. So, like, if you have any more questions for Drunk Cody, you have to take it up with him. I
okay,
can't speak
it's
for
yeah,
him.
it's a different thing. I got you.
It's a
I got you.
formality. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to be polite to
They're
him.
not even gonna be in the same room, you know. It's like totally different. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
I gotta funnel my questions to him, and vice
Yep.
versa. I get it
Uh-huh.
totally. You know,
There's-
you know, this is an internet persona, so I totally understand. True Brandon is like off there doing like sound or whatever. So you know, but
Yeah.
that's awesome. Well, hopefully next time you won't be completely toasted.
Yes.
But you know, I think a slight bit's nice. You know,
It helps.
I thought it was cool. You know, I thought it was very cool. Obviously, got to support the boys. But I was watching
Yeah.
it, and I only felt a little bit of guilt watching
Good.
you just go through the lyrics. And I was like, listen, gotta give it to Cody. He was a champ. He's doing it. You know, I can't say was doing it well because I would be
No.
lying, but he was doing it. So you gotta give him
Yep.
you gotta give him the E for effort. You know, on that.
The way I think about this is like there's gonna be like 10-year gap to when I hear about this again. And be like, hey, so remember when you were first starting out and you did that lyric comp? And I was like, yeah. So remember I told you to fuck up? We're not gonna talk about that.
Well, somebody's gonna find it when you get like really big. You're gonna be doing like world tours and stuff, and they'll be like, "Yo, I found this
Yeah.
really funny video, Cody." Yeah, so
Yeah.
please don't do
Yeah,
that
yeah,
when that
was
comes
real
up.
funny.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, now I gotta go back to my like six-figure house up in Hollywood Hills or something. So
Yep. I'm gonna pout about him. Remember that
Yeah.
video?
Yeah, I want to take it down. But
Yeah.
you'll have the money
Yeah.
for it at that point. So if you
It was
know,
fun. It was fun.
It was fun,
Eventually, my
yeah.
friends are gonna make fun of me. Maybe like at my wedding, they'll play it on the screen and embarrass me for like 15 minutes. Yeah,
I
that's
hope
about it.
not.
Yeah.
Don't. I hope not. Don't give him any. Don't. Future Cody
ideas.
might regret that decision. So I'm
Yes.
gonna.
Uh-huh.
If anything, it will just. I don't know what I'll do. Maybe I'll do something. But anyway, the last thing, Cody. You know, what do you want people to take away from this EP? Like, I know we've been doing a lot. We've been having a little jovial time, which is awesome. But you know, at the heart of things, we're here for the music. And, you know,
Yeah.
what do you expect people who, you know, either are new or are coming into your band, never hearing of Goalkeeper, what do you want to take away from that? And then on top of that, like, fans that have been with you for such a long time, like, what do you want them to take away from this record, too?
Yeah. So obviously we've thought about this record a bunch since we've been home, since
Sure.
we were there, since we were writing it, the entire process, and to kind of take a step back and look at this bubble you've created, this universe and this world within this record.
Yeah.
We had titled it "Life in Slow Motion," and we had called it that because it just felt like in each of the songs we always felt like you have to have something that means something to each song, but still feels like a collective piece of art. And there's a lyric in the song "Black and Blue" where it says, "I woke up again feeling stuck in slow motion," and I think that related to us in a way that was just different and deeper and more visceral, and to think about, you know, where we were mentally writing these songs and what these songs are all about. It just feels like we went a bit deeper on these lyrics, and it kind of feels like we stepped out of the situation and got to take the look in, and we just talked about things on a deeper level and on things that we just haven't touched on before. So I feel like we're touching a whole new side of Goalkeeper. There's such an exciting part that's coming, but still that rambunctious, stupid punk side that we have within us that you'll find in this record. And it's just, you know, expect something to touch you, you know, in your heart and your feelings. You know, I hope so, and I hope that's what I can do, because listening back, it's like that's all I can feel. I feel Ryan, I feel Mark, I feel myself inside this record. Just we've done so much, and there's so much inside of us that we have inside of Life in Slow Motion. It's just, if you're a longtime fan, listen to it, and when you are, listen like we're sitting in the room with you. If you're a new fan, I suggest you listen to it front to back, and you listen to it like you listen to a best friend talk to you. Like it's personal and it's real, and it's like it's captivated us in more than one way that I can account for. So the record is personal. The record is for everybody. The record is relatable, and I'm just so excited for everybody to hear it.
Yeah, I like it. We've been prefacing a lot, and I don't like. I don't want it to seem like I'm saying this because I just wanted to be like, oh, like I really want. I'm trying to plug you guys for this record. Like, I
Yeah.
legitimately think it's that good, and like I said, I have only listened to it a
Thank you, man.
handful of times through, but it was something to me that struck me that was just like really honest about it. And I know like a lot of this type of music is really honest, and I know that might just sound like a very cliche thing to say, but it truly feels like, one of the reasons why I love doing this and why I love talking to like local bands is just that, when you have the opportunity to do it and you're putting your heart on your wearing your heart on your sleeve, and you're able to, play these songs and stuff like that. And obviously I'm sure the emotional effect will be much greater once we get back out to live shows and stuff. But
Yeah.
but I felt like listening to this record, I was just like, I could already feel like that connection to it already.
Good.
And I've only listened to it a handful of times already, but I'm excited to really kind of delve into it and listen to it a little bit more deeper next time. But I implore you guys to check it out. Like Cody said, listen to it from front to back. I think it makes more sense when you're listening through it to that way. I mean, I feel like most people do it, or if they just like Spotify radio it, just buy it. Like it's going to support them. It's going to them making more music. And I feel like now in a time where things are a little bit kind of out of place, it's a good way to kind of, have that sort of escapism to music. So please go check out Goalkeeper. They're really
Dude.
great.
Thank you so
Cody,
much.
obviously you can tell them, which is the last thing that we're going to end off on. Tell them where they can find you on social media. Tell them about
Oh
the
my
EP,
gosh.
where they can purchase it at. And, obviously anything you guys have planned
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
up.
yeah. So keep your eyes open on all of our social medias. You can find us at Goalkeeper Band anywhere. Go Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, uh, LinkedIn, maybe. I don't know.
I didn't put that in
So
the description, so now I'm going to have to
yeah,
go look for it.
there's definitely no link. Anyways, you can find us on any social media. We're there. Goalkeeper Band. Life in Slow Motion comes out 9/25, September 25th. In between then, we have some more stuff coming, so definitely keep your eyes open. Watch the socials. We'll be talking to you. I run the Twitter. If you ever want to ask us a question, if you ever want to find out how my cat's doing, please ask. I love my cat, and he's the greatest person on the planet. So, if you guys want to reach out to us about anything that has to do with the record, please do. We're not just a band. We're people. I'm Cody. Ryan sings. Mark plays guitar and books some shows. Please talk to us. We're just so excited to share this with everybody. That's just it's a lot coming, and I'm very, very excited. Life in
There-
Slow Motion, September 25th.
Yeah, there we go. Well, first of all, I'm gonna look directly at the camera and tell Mark, listen, if there isn't any vinyl for this record, I'm gonna be very upset right now. So you better get on it. I'm a vinyl fiend. I love that shit. So Mark, if we don't get a vinyl going, man, I'm gonna be, low key
I
little
know.
mad.
Okay. All right. I'll take it.
Just a little mad, not a lot, nothing mean. Just just a little push.
Yeah,
I feel
just
like I
enough.
gotta insert my opinion a little bit. You're on my channel, so I feel like I gotta talk about the things that I love, which is collecting
Yeah.
vinyl. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have something. If not, are you guys doing physical pre-orders? Because I know that's kind of like a very tumultuous thing happening now, but I don't know if you guys have any words on
So,
that.
I mean, it's in the talks, but things are changing every day as they
Yeah.
are. But the closer we get to actually talking about tour and getting out there, the closer we get to talking about actually having real products. So the main thing and the most cost-effective way that we think about it right now is that like getting music
Digital.
out there. So yeah, digital exactly, and that's why most people listening these days. And social distancing, boy.
Yeah.
So listen to your stuff online. When we get closer to touring, we have 100% had a conversation about vinyl and physical CDs and that
Yeah.
kind of and that such. So it's on our minds. We wanted to, but we'll see what's happening. Yeah. We'll see what's happening closer to touring time, whatever that is.
I'm an old fart, so I love the physical. I don't know. I grew up buying physicals. I literally in my bedroom closet, I just have a box filled of CDs. So
Yep.
like
Nice.
I'm a junkie. I love that
Yep.
sort of stuff. So
I have my CD collection right here, and I have my records back there, man.
Oh,
We're on the same page.
you
Yep.
know. But
Yes.
as we have to end this off, go check out Goalkeeper. Goalkeeper. Links will be in the description where you can find out about their band, their music. Follow them on social media. Go tell Cody about his cat on Twitter because you know you want to. You know, also, you know, if you enjoy the record, please go pick it up. Life in Slow Motion. Go follow them on Spotify so you keep out on, like, when that new single drops. You know, you'll be on the front lines. You know, very first, and you know you want to be number one. So go check out their stuff. You know, major fam to the channel. So I feel like I gotta give the extra. You know, I gotta give them 110%, not just 100%. So go check out Goalkeeper. Seriously, some of the nicest dudes that I've met locally, and I love talking to all of them. So please go give Goalkeeper their love. Also go check out that lyric video. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check that out. Cody is toasted, so I just want to preface that he's toasted. That's it. I'm not gonna say any more, say any less. You'll go check it out. Go support our homies into all the crowded rooms. And if you enjoyed this interview, share it, like, and subscribe. It goes a long way. I work my damn ass off to get this to you guys, so I really would appreciate it if you do that. Also, go make sure to tweet at the Wonder Years, Green Day, Miser/Transit. I know they broke up, but do it anyway. Whoever else, and Goalkeeper, go tweet at Goalkeeper. You know, you want to see a tour like that hit your area, so make sure to let the people know what you want. You know, I feel like if the Wonder Years knew, like, they would be about it. You know, they're Philadelphia. You know, I'm just saying.
You know, they just announced the other day they're playing Fest next year with us.
So, you know, Wonder Years, Goalkeeper. I don't want to say anything, but just, you know, we got Audio Addiction's got clout, so, you know, we could do it. Let's make it happen. So, and thanks.
Brandon, it's been awesome talking to you, man. This has been awesome.